Welcome back to episode 3. This is Kenny.
This is Tony.
And this is Jaren.
And this is the culmination of the 3-part intro.
Origin.
Return of the Jedi. Wait, can we get censored for that?
I think we can. Lucas, we love you.
Part 3 of Star Wars.
Don't worry about us.
It's going to be Return of the...
Our third
You're going to be cut off.
But it is the new beginning. This is where we'd like to kind of discuss some of our big moments that led to this newest chapter, which we're still kind of figuring out, but are very optimistic about.
Yeah.
Why don't you take it away, Kenny, with where it was that we decided to refocus.
Picking up from where we left off, we're now getting at the end of 2017 into 2018. For me, personally, I was in a really bad space. My brother and I were in the car with Jaren. So, the OGs, the original Scorpio Entertainment, and I made a plea to these guys. I just kind of sat there and I said, we can do this.
It was an inspirational speech, I'll say. It was kind of that Braveheart moment of
yes.
Rallying the troops, but
that
more
Bill
for
Pullman and ID4 moment.
Yeah, we always like those moments in movies where the one character takes a look around, takes a moment, and then unleashes that inspirational message.
Al Pacino on any given Sunday.
Yeah. It was an inspired performance. I'll say that, of getting us to wrap our minds about it, how much hours we'd put into it in the years prior, and how much we could still do. And that was really that moment we realized that it didn't have to fade out completely. Maybe it wasn't our time in that lost decade because we didn't really have all the available tools and outlets available to us. It was almost like we were focused on a dream, and then we just kind of got muddled in the details of how to realize that dream.
I think we started to realize the power of social media and YouTube. And we saw a lot of stuff out there that was like, it didn't look that cool, but it was cool that somebody was doing it.
And at the time, I was listening to a lot of podcasts that would help me get through the tough times too, of maybe a little bit of affirmation, a little bit of realizing you don't have to just go through the same motions day to day, and the 9 to 5, or in my case, 6 to 3 daily grind is
how you do it.
Not a whole lot of fun to wake up every morning to, I can tell you that. But getting together with these guys really did, even in that one meeting, bringing things all back into perspective, really did give me that moment of optimism where I felt a new life again, and made me realize that I think we really should be driving towards the dream again.
Realizing that, we could just go get a camera now. That's everything's 4K, everything's high quality.
And there's always deals.
And there's always,
because we have always been focused on quality control as well.
Yes.
When it comes to our content.
Probably one of our greatest assets, but biggest downfalls is perfectionism, or making sure that everything is good, practicing. I mean, you can only do so much practicing and so much perfectionism.
That's the lost decade.
Yeah.
But we do strive for maybe a sometimes hard to achieve level of quality.
Yes, and so that's kind of something that we want to bring to what we produce, what we film, what we record. And the process of this kind of rediscovery, so to speak, when you start to realize that there's so many platforms you showcase yourself or your work, now we're just like, all right, how do we utilize this? And so what we started to do is we started to really watch a lot of videos on YouTube, watch a lot of Instagram.
Basically, film and photography, podcasts and YouTube videos. And even if film isn't your thing, and photography, but just social media in general has just given everybody a vehicle and a platform, if used correctly, to just get yourself out there, your work out there, your what you have to offer. There's a lot of value out there. It is easier today than it ever was to get on the internet and learn about something that you're genuinely interested in. And I think us falling back to our roots of film and video and photography, even, that's just something that it's so attainable now to be able to learn how to get the basics and start, building that foundation back up from what we used to have, taking that positivity and doing something with it,
and getting that visual storytelling bug that bit us at a young age, actually having a new outlet to use that we never really had thought about until, I think that had we started doing that maybe at the infancy of YouTube, it may not have worked out to our benefit. We may have been a little burnt out at that point. Whereas at this point, it wasn't so much a burnout. It was more of us just feeling a little lost in our focus, and feeling like we needed to just pick up our sword again and go out adventuring, with sword being...
Is that a Game of Thrones reference?
Maybe something like that. I'll always try to keep it a little geeky, so I'll get very specific. It was...
King Arthur, maybe?
It was the needle.
It was the needle.
Yeah, but anyway, I was thinking that basically it was time for us to go on an adventure, and I felt like maybe some of that lust for adventure had been lost in the lost decade, but Really, in that one conversation with Kenny and with us all three in the car together, it felt like this really can be something we do.
If you believe it, it's really true. They say, if you believe it.
I mean, we're trying to be inspirational, and maybe our message will be about believing in yourself. It sounds a little cliche, but it really is true that there are ways in life to turn things around at any point, and there are those rising moments that you can find in every step of the way.
For us in the profession we want to go into, I think we kind of all felt like, and this is a podcast we had listened to, and I think, Kenny, you know this, Romancing the Stone, right? Where you're that person stuck in your basement, doing your mundane job every day, and you as the audience are watching and saying like, what are you doing? You got to get out. You're going to die down there. That's all you're going to do, And,
that's from, I think it was Save the Cat.
Save the Cat. And then that knock on the door happens, and it's like that call to adventure, like
call
to action. And we started moving into our next phase, so to speak, of...
This is really where Octorpio was born. It wasn't yet called that, because now we'll go into a little of the backstory of that, but this is really the origin story of Octorpio.
So with this newfound kick into high gear, it was time to start planning. And that is a very important stage. If I were to give any advice, if you have this dream, and you can hear it from a lot of different inspirational speakers out there, put down a plan. And we started with Scorpio Entertainment. We didn't really think that we were going to use that. We wanted to give it a rebirth, a rename. So Tony, he actually came up, what was it called? October Scorpio.
Yeah, we wanted to...
Very original.
We wanted to be we knew that in this day and age, Googling a name of a brand is going to be a little hard if you use something too generic.
Well, right. And then also, I think we had Googled Scorpio Entertainment, and DJs were using it. And
there's a lot. It was DJ.
It felt Scorpio old, right? It just felt old.
It also didn't...
felt unoriginal.
And we maybe had it wasn't so much a negative attachment to it, but it was something we wanted to put behind us and start a new name, fresh.
Revamp.
Which was also kind of scary. We really loved Scorpio. We loved Scorpio Entertainment.
It wasn't easy to say goodbye to that.
It really was not.
But I think we understood the time for change.
So in trying to make it more reestablished, make a more professional, legit sounding company, we start going through ideas, and one of them that we landed on was October Scorpio. It still had our birth month and our astrological sign.
We are born in both very close together. Tidbit, October 25th for me, and Jaron.
October 30th for my brother and I.
They do share a birthday, by the way. If you didn't know this by now.
We are twins, and you might hear a few things in surround sound.
I'm not the triplet, but that's just a story I like a good way to break the ice.
He is the triplet.
Yeah, so
in spirit.
So we thought of this name. We went through a few renditions, and we kind of landed on that. And we were just like, this sounds better. We started telling our friends and our family and just kind of seeing how it played. And Jaron, we had told him, and he had been sort of like mulling it over and thinking about it.
It wasn't an instant thought I had, but after our first little inspirational meeting in the car,
we told Jay of the new name, October Scorpio. We started not really branding, but we started putting together like some logos. We started writing out what kind of ideas we could do for YouTube, for Instagram, for Twitch, for Twitter. Like we kind of went through a lot of different avenues that we could hit. And that now that we kind of this new passion, we decided that we wanted to remake the long lost short, which was in
junior year,
the beginning in episode 1. Mm-hmm. And we collected some props. We refound the Evanescence song that we used just to kind of give that nostalgia.
Vibe. Yeah.
We even procrastinated just a little bit just to give it that full form feeling.
And we went into the city after we laid out the set. We laid out the equipment we were going to bring. We kind of went over this story that we wanted to tell. We actually kind of made the story a little better, a little edgier. And we gathered everything, and it was a little cumbersome to start to gather all of this equipment.
Yeah, we went to my apartment in the city.
Had a little living room and a bedroom all together.
Office
area. And we filmed. We got back to what it was like back in 2004. And the good thing was that we were doing it. Probably the bad thing was that it did kind of feel like we were back in 2004, like just kind of like really seemingly unprepared as we started shooting. Mm-hmm. It was a lot of fun, a lot of good energy. When we reconvened, the next week and we started going over it, we realized that we were kind of grossly unprepared, even though we had some of the equipment, but nonetheless, we were excited that we could get it going. And I think that a lot of the wheels were turning. We were starting to use the equipment, and then it was one meeting. I think fall was just beginning. October Scorpio, we had a couple logo designs, and then Jaron hit us with some idea that he had.
I decided, what do you guys think of it? I threw it at them because I knowing
on the way out of the meeting, right?
And on a whim, I just said, hey guys, I got this little thing. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's the start of something. But how does this hit your ears? And I said the word Octorpio,
which is a merging
of October and Scorpio, because that's the kind of the original Scorpio Entertainment idea, but in a cooler, more original point of origination, you could say, was that I wanted to create a new word to describe our company and to be our brand. So what do you guys think? How did that sound to you?
Well, admittedly,
so shocking,
when we first heard it, for me personally, this is Kenny, hearing Octorpio, I was like, it definitely was very unique. But I started thinking maybe it wouldn't really work for a lot of people, or maybe it wouldn't really sound that cool. But it just stuck with me. And
Tony, I planted the seed.
What was your...
I mean, my reaction was, what the hell is that? I mean, that's the initial 100% first reaction. Then as we started talking about it, and within 30 seconds to a minute, you're almost like, yeah, that's a name to consider. We're a very open group, and we're always open to having the ideas out there on the table, that we can mull over and think about. And
of course, I had to leave that as the mic drop moment at the end of a meeting to give you some time to think it over before.
Yeah, but as we started thinking about it, as Octorpio, it just it doesn't. I mean, for me, it did. For some people, it doesn't quite roll off the tongue right away. But as you start to think about it, you're like, yeah, that's...
Just think October and then go from there.
Yeah, Octorpio.
And the more you say it, the more you love it.
And the more we sat with it, the more days that went by, the more we just kept saying it to each other. And then we almost started seeing the value in how unique it was and started building a brand off it. And it just kind of hit us. This is what we were looking for. This is this word combination, so to speak. In Octorpio, there's 3 O's, right? There's
that momentum.
The O at the end, the O at the beginning, and the O in the middle. And we wrote it out and had the O's capitalized, and it's symbolizes us 3, as
pillars.
You could say pillars we were just invigorated by
everything. Just started making sense with this logo. It was just so perfect for us.
The meetings suddenly took a more focused, more vibrant feel of not just can we do this, but oh man, I want to get this name out there. I want to build it up right.
And not to mention, this was something that we Googled and it was nowhere. It was
we really did find some true origination.
I mean, there were maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3 instances that were really old. I mean, really old, or someone's handle from a decade ago, but there was no real, mention of it. Yeah, it wasn't established. And that was,
you could Google a word and it didn't have any instant thing.
And I think even after we had sat with it and created this brand, we're like, oh my God, nobody has this. This is this is gold.
In this day and age, being this far into the internet, it's kind of rare to find something that's both easy to say and hasn't already been thought of yet. Every idea out there has pretty much been thought of.
Anyway, so you can tell our excitement, obviously.
So we were amped, but just coming up with an idea and being able to bring that to the table was a big moment for me. One I can look back now and say, I'm glad I did.
Even if no other idea comes out of it.
Sometimes I'm the kind of guy that maybe is a little nervous about overstepping or maybe worried about going on too much of a tangent. So I wanted to at least make sure if I threw a pitch out there, it was something that was worth our time and was worth thinking about.
So now the next progression from here was, my God, we need to start looking at taking up real estate. We started opening up a LinkedIn account, an Instagram account, a YouTube account, a Twitch account, things that we didn't even know we were going to use.
Discord. We didn't want to miss the boat this time and be the second Octorpio.
Right. The one problem that we ran into was on Twitter. There's an Octorpio. It hasn't been used, as far as we can tell, in almost
10 years.
10 years. And we wrote to Twitter constantly. What we didn't do is buy any domains, and we'll talk about that in a second.
Domains, trademarks.
Yeah, we just started to try to get the name taken off of the internet so no one else could have that idea. So with this, it was kind of by happenstance. My brother and I got invited, or actually we went to pick up a wine fridge at our neighbor's house down the street that they were getting rid of. Got to chill the wine. And our neighbors asked us what we wanted to do. We all sat down, we had a glass of wine. And one of our neighbors, who is a lawyer, actually said, you should think about maybe trademarking this or getting in touch with a lawyer. If you're really gung-ho about this, just getting it out there, just talking with somebody about it to see what options, because when you hear lawyer, the first thing you think about
money
is money.
Not necessarily the first thing we had got excited about doing when we came up with the name and idea of building a brand.
This whole kind of rediscovery, the end of one journey and the beginning of another journey, this whole kind of rebirth. This is kind of where we want to take this company, Octorpio, we want it to be a new kind of company. We wanted to...
We're ambitious about it. And we're mentioning redoing some old ideas, but we have now, in those meetings, we were bringing up all sorts of new ideas for content, for stories, for short films, for...
Even how to use social media and bringing these stories to life.
Even just the way, using new unexplored avenues that I'm now familiar with, such as Twitch, such as Patreon, ways to communicate and build a community around a brand and make it more, not so much about branding, but about putting our personality and our best foot forward out into the world with proper preparation.
And this is just something to kind of note, this is creating video and something visually stimulating. This is something that we've always wanted to do. And now with today's social media, it's something that we can now share with people. And we really want to share, our unique vision and ideas with you all and really inspire and connect, but also entertain and really just put out work that is well received.
We want to build a brand that can last, that people can look at and build a convention around. Can
say pretty cool.
Can say, well, we like I said, pretty ambitious, and not to show our hand too early, but we want to be very open, transparent about our excitement for this project, for why it is we got so passionate in those meetings that sparked out of just a desire to not let our old ideas fade.
Yeah, and really this is the taking your passion and pursuing it and sharing it and exploring it and trying to make a business off of it, trying to...
Really about breaking that figurative paralysis that we had. That we still had the dream, it never went away, but it started to feel like maybe that the dream should die. Maybe the idea isn't really something lucrative that we can build our livelihoods around.
Yeah, and so one of the really cool things that we want to bring and show is we're just three guys that are taking what we kind of had learned in the past and now trying to reapply it to the future. And we kind of want to inspire everyone out there who's trying to do their own thing too. And that's one of the reasons why we have this podcast and why we want to showcase what we're doing
on our journey of building this production company.
We're adults of a certain age, but this goes for any age out there that might be listening. I mean, if you're maybe not even started your college career, take what we've learned, maybe apply just some ideas of the Octorpio Rising moments that we think define what it is that led us to breaking out of our rut, to maybe starting to focus on the things that we're passionate about in life, and to really see where it is that our energy should be focused.
One huge thing that I would want to say to everyone out there is don't let a tragedy or something be your starting point. Like, you can do it now, you don't have to wait for a defining moment in your life. Instead,
sometimes look at it like a choose your own adventure book that I used to read.
Oh yeah,
it's going back to my geeky novel days.
Yeah.
But you choose your own adventure. You Google it. Probably not that big a thing anymore. But what you should really think about is when you turn that page, it really unlocks endless possibilities to what skills you bring to the table, what you want to focus on sharpening in your skill set as a content creator should be little stepping stones, but what you really want to look at is that last page and know where you're headed. We did always have that end goal in mind of make a movie, but now that's still possible, but that's not necessarily the last step. Now we've got this more ambitious idea of building a creative force. We want Octorpio to be a household name. It's that origination. We're wanting to be the first Octorpio and take you along on that journey of how we came to be and
discovery, self-discovery.
We want to build a community, and we want to hear back about what positive messages are we spreading in the world and what we're giving back to the kids of the next generation that maybe we're inspiring.
So with that is the end of the trilogy. That is the new beginning, the rediscovery of Octorpio. Thank you guys for joining us on this, and please join us on our future podcast.
Sounds good to me.
Yes. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much.